Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Yesterday, Blizzard revealed Dragonflight, the next new expansion of World of Warcraft. With the reveal came also a list of various features and updates coming with the patch 10.0. And of all these changes, there's a lot of ways that Blizzard is improving the game going forward based on mistakes and pitfalls of previous expansions. And the dev team seems very excited to massively improve the game in the next upcoming update. So in today's video, I want to highlight some of the biggest changes that are expected to come with the next future World of Warcraft expansion that's looking to turn the game for the better. But right before we get into this feature update, most of you guys watch these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as to the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get regular news and updates on the next upcoming World of Warcraft expansion. First of all, let's start this video big with one of the greatest improvements going forward. No more reliance on borrowed powered systems. From the last few expansions, systems like Artifact Weapons of Legion, Azerite Gear, and Heart of Azeroth of BFA, and the current Covenants of Shadowlands were exciting systems to play around with. But these systems also came with challenges of their own, with Blizzard regularly stating that they found it difficult for them to tune classes for dungeons, raids, and even PvP because of the borrowed power systems. It's possible to buff and nerf our classes in the current system for the current expansion, but as we move on to the next chapter World of Warcraft, new systems are going to take a hold, and some of these systems may collide with previous class changes that may require even more adjustments. And as these systems grow more complex, with the expansion of Shadowlands introducing covenants, conduits, legendaries, and tier sets, tuning certain parts of our class becomes so much more difficult because of all these complex systems that play off of each other, which leads to unfair one-shots in arenas and disbalance in the damage spread in dungeons and raids. Besides the woes of balance and tuning, some of these systems can almost feel meaningless. You'll spend thousands of hours, thousands of resources upgrading that weapon, upgrading the Heart of Azeroth, buffing up your Covenant with as many good conduits and as much renown as you can, just to abandon it following the next expansion. All those class buffs and benefits gone to be replaced with something new in the next iteration. Therefore, in the patch 10.0, Blizzard wants to redesign our classes and adjust them so that they're set up to grow over the next few iterations and future expansions, instead of constantly relying on borrowed power systems. While we don't have all the details on the class changes, one of the biggest ways they're going to be augmenting our classes is through improved talent tree systems, which are going to mix the old school vanilla TBC Wrath of Lich King style talent trees with a more standardized modern WoW approach. The current version of the system has two talent trees, one for your class and one for your spec, letting the player choose if they want to focus in on their specialization or hybridize their playstyle. These talent trees are split up between circles, which are passive effects, squares, which are active abilities, and hexagons, which offer impactful, meaningful options like choosing between Incarnation Tree of Life or Convoke as a Restoration Druid, which gives the player a lot more choice on how they design their character, down to the very abilities they choose to use. And they have so many meaningful options that can really transform your playstyle. Take for example the Restoration Druid tree, the base class tree. It looks like Restoration Druids could build their character in such a way where they could gain the ability of Skull Bash, an interrupt that's normally not accessible to their specialization. But because of the new talent trees, it's possible to really hybridize and specialize your playstyle anywhere you want to, which may mean the Restoration Druid may give up on some healing or some damage opportunities, but will gain an interrupt which is invaluable in group content like PvP and Mythic Plus. Based on the same talent tree, it might be possible to gain some incredibly powerful raid utility, like a Feral Druid potentially picking up Innervate, which is normally only accessible to Restoration and Balance Druids. And this is just for the class of Druid, and for now we don't have access to the other class talent trees, but it could create potential for some very interesting gameplay opportunities, like the return of the Gladiator Stance Warrior, a sword and board gladiator playstyle that focuses on outputting damage rather than defense, or potentially tanking as an Unholy Death Knight to relive the days of unholy tanking from the days of Wrath. Or maybe as some sort of a Frostfire Mage hybrid. or potentially a Retribution Holy Paladin mix for the next 2v2 double DPS arenas. Depending on how Blizzard rolls out these talent updates, there could be an incredible amount of possibilities and experimentations for our classes going forward with the next expansion in the patch 10.0. The next update comes from an interview between the streamer Bajira and Brian Holinka, who revealed some massive updates for PvP gearing going forward. And it was confirmed in that interview that PvP gear vendors are here to stay for the next expansion. Initially, for the expansion of Shadowlands, the return of PvP gear vendors was met with a lot of positive reception from the community. However, the gear scaling within PvP and the different ranks of gear has been a bit of a mixed bag. And for the patch 10.0, Holinka confirms that scaling is gonna be adjusted, where Conquest gear will always scale to the highest possible level within PvP content, no matter the rank of the item. This means that once you buy Conquest gear in the patch 10.0, that's gonna be your best PvP gear, and you don't have to rank it any higher in order to be competitive in PvP content, whether you are a Gladiator player or just starting out, which will create an even footing for players within PvP arenas, allowing player skill to shine instead of simply overpowering the other player because your gear is higher ranked. The scaling system will also be applied for honor gear as well, which will make it far easier for new players to get into PvP content, as well as maintain your alts to make sure that they're somewhat competitive. This WoD-style scaling system has been largely requested by huge portions of the PvP community for the longest time, and this change should hopefully improve PvP gearing going forward for the patch 10.0. While we don't have the entire clear picture of the next expansion of Dragonflight, a lot of players are expecting that the next chapter in World of Warcraft will have yet another player system, similar to Azerite gear, or potentially even Covenants. And while Blizzard did confirm they're adding a dragon riding system, it might not be as intrusive as some of the other player power systems that Blizzard have played with in previous expansions. The dragon riding system is a new mobility system being added to the game, where you'll be able to tame your dragon, take it out on flights in the Dragon Isles, and even customize your majestic beast, similar to how we used to customize our artifact weapons back in Legion. It's a system of progression, but not specifically player power, that'll be impactful in dungeons, raiding, or PvP. Instead, it's a fun system of exploration and movement that will be expanded over time and something for a player to improve upon. As you improve your dragon and dragon riding skill, you will be able to soar higher and faster with your dragon mount, be able to customize your dragon to upgrade its effectiveness going forward, and explore the Dragon Isles through a creative minigame, utilizing velocity, momentum, speed, the environment in order to be able to glide your dragon through the air. A lot of players ask for Blizzard to add flying day one of the new expansion, instead of waiting for a Pathfinder achievement or waiting for Blizzard to add it later down the line into the expansion. Dragon riding is going to be available early on as a flying-like system that requires progression and mastery of the art of riding a dragon and soaring through the air in order to reach further and higher than ever before. But most importantly, it is a system that isn't necessarily required with player power and player progression. It's not going to make you do more damage in dungeons or PvP or raids. Instead, it's a separate standalone exploration system of this dragon-filled world. And after a couple of back-to-back expansions filled with grindy mandatory systems, having a system that isn't there for pure player progression might be a breath of fresh air. Finally, Blizzard is looking to massively improve and overhaul the profession system. Over the last couple of expansions, professions felt like they've been taking a bit more of a backseat. Currently in Shadowlands for the developers, it's a bit of a balanced act between trying to make crafted items like legendaries or mandatory raid buffs not super expensive, while also trying to keep professions exciting and the experience enjoyable, which I don't think has really been achieved so far. Specifically for legendary crafting, it's not super enjoyable having to recraft the same legendary item just to rank up your profession experience. And the patch 10.0 is offering to make professions even more engaging than ever before, like with new rarities of crafting items, allowing profession-oriented players to really take pride in their crafts, using higher quality materials to yield better crafting results. If you've ever been a blacksmith or jewel crafter or a leather worker and you wanted to specialize in specific items like plated armor or specifically weapons, you might not be able to specialize within your professions, becoming extremely good at very specific crafts in order to make you stand out from the other profession crafters. They're also adding a system of crafting orders, where someone may be able to request an item to be crafted, usually while tipping the crafter a little bit of gold on the side. This allows players focused on professions to peruse the crafting orders at their own leisure, and complete the jobs that they specialize in, or potentially those that make them the most amount of gold, letting the profession-oriented players focus more on the crafting side of the game, instead of forcing the crafting players to play the auction house in order to maximize the gold value. Crafters will also be able to help players craft powerful, normally soul-bound items, which would mean your crafting skills could help another player gear out their character. This crafting system might be possible to use your alts in order to better gear out your main going forward. Finally, crafters will also be able to make crafter-specific gear, which will enhance your crafting experience as well as the items that you forge or gather. It'll also allow you to have a unique customizable look depending on your profession without necessarily taking up any inventory slots, which will add a little bit extra satisfaction to the crafting professions, with raiders wearing their own tier set raiding gear, PvPers wearing their PvP gear, and crafters standing out from the rest with their own crafting items. And these are some of the updates that look to improve the game going forward for the next expansion of Dragonflight in the patch 10.0. And I'm super excited to see how many of these systems are going to shape up once Dragonflight hits the alpha. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these expansion improvements are you excited for the most? Are you excited for potentially removal of the borrowed power systems going forward and the class redesign? Are you excited for the improved PvP gearing system, potentially dragon riding system, or possibly profession improvements? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and a live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video update. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.